First, I'm spicing up my kitchen. A huge number of my recipes use spices, and we bake with them all year round. We keep spices in our cupboards for years without thinking about them. Pepper, cloves, nutmeg. But chef-turned-spice expert Arun Kapil is here to tell me there's more to my spice store than I think.
Hello, Arun.
Hi, Paul. How you doing?
It's difficult to impart to the people watching the smells that are happening at the moment. So what basically have we got here?
This is like taking a stab at like an English kitchen spice rack, you might say.
It's easy to forget that pepper is actually a spice. Arun has brought in some pepper that is not just freshly ground, but freshly picked and imported. In this game, I have to guess what type each is.
What's this? Is this
That's
pepper?
up for you to guess now, Paul. You have to see if you can guess which ones they are.
So I've got 4 different peppers here, and I don't know which is which.
I wouldn't normally just eat pepper.
It's like tasting a wine to a certain extent. You just want to get a really good noseful of it.
You smell it, you don't eat it.
Yeah, you smell it first, because then that goes, oh, OK, and it starts to play these little memories in your head from things of the past. And then when you actually taste it, you're getting both the flavour and the taste of it.
You know the first thing that came in? It's very peppery. It's pepper.
Like I say, this is white pepper. White pepper is essentially exactly the same as black pepper, but the black husk has been taken off it. That's all white pepper is.
Really?
Absolutely.
Bit mustardy as well.
Beautiful. Now we're going. Absolutely. It's going, yeah, absolutely, like wasabi almost. It's going in that kind of direction, isn't it? Yeah.
That would go in a steak and ale pie, no worries.
Perfect.
Now, the next one, which is slightly darker, well, this is a bit more earthy than the first one. It's definitely stronger.
This is long pepper. This was the original pepper that the Romans used to trade in before black pepper was discovered. And works really well with sweet stuff, that does.
The problem is when you put, like, salt and pepper in a dish,
Yeah.
you know what it's going to taste like.
This
doesn't taste like what you'd expect, so you,
No, you're
you
right.
have to change the
No,
rule book.
You do, but that's the whole point, and that's what I'm all about personally. I think changing the rule book is what we should be doing.
We haven't all got one of you in the kitchen, though, have we?
But everyone can play.
So how would you use this long pepper?
Use it in place of things like allspice and nutmeg. It's great with fruits. I've been using it in chutneys, in jams, in preserves.
So moving on to this.
Yes, indeed.
Again, a very different looking pepper. It packs a punch.
Yeah. Do you know what this one is? This is black pepper. So this is black pepper that, like you said at the beginning...
Fresh. Yeah, but it's totally different to what I'm used to.
Like you say, now that the spices are fresh, that you can actually sort of easily distinguish them.
Arun has brought in one of my favourite spices, nutmeg.
Is it a nut?
It's actually a seed. It's growing just like a conker. You crack open the green shell. Inside the green shell then, you see like this black sort of nut, this dark brown nut. And around the dark brown nut is this, the lacy husk, which is mace. So you take off the mace, you crack the brown sort of casing, and you end up with the seed, which is nutmeg.
I love nutmeg.
I use nutmeg in sweet things, like Yorkshire curd tart and rice pudding, but almost never in savoury. But Arun has cooked me a frittata, a posh omelette to you and me, with eggs, potatoes, blue cheese, and freshly grated nutmeg.
Not too in your face.
No, it's not.
Only just there.
You get it there at the end. It works well.
Cloves are another spice that us British bakers love, especially around Christmas time, it seems.
Cloves, to me, have that sort of festive appeal, but to me, they've got a real deep sort of fruitiness to them.
So what is a clove then? I mean, is it seed, bark?
With a clove, Paul, you're eating flowers, you're eating pure sunshine.
Ah.
What it actually is, you know how it's a ball and socket almost, so you've got the little ball on top?
Yeah.
Well, these little bits coming up, these little pieces here, these are the sepals, so the little leaves that didn't form. The little ball is actually the petals that just haven't opened up as yet.
Oh, is that all that is?
Literally,
So
yeah.
that's been dried out?
Correct, exactly that, yeah. Yeah. It's a dried flower, you could say, almost, before it obviously blooms into a flower.
To convince me, Arun's added cloves into a venison burger.
So with venison, you might normally think like sort of juniper, orange, pepper.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah, absolutely.
It's got a little bit of warmth to it, it adds to it. I think putting that on a barbecue.
There we are now.
There it is, right there.
I can taste the freshness in Arun's spices, and storing them correctly is vital to keeping them.
Keep your spices in an airtight jam jar, but put them in your cupboard so it's out the way, but not above the hob. You don't want them warm. It needs to be kind of like a coolish place.
That's been fantastic.
Good man.
Later, I'll be asking Aaron to help me spice up a classic dessert recipe as I reinvent a favourite pudding.
Now, it is a twist on a trifle. And what I mean by that is it's a 70s twist because I'm going to use the idea of a Black Forest Gateau.
Now, if you're a fan of the Black Forest Gateau, a German classic dessert, then you're in for a treat, as I give it a twist and turn it into a trifle using this same combination of flavours: chocolate, cherries and kirsch. But for added effect, Aaron is going to use his knowledge of spice to add a twist to my recipe.
These are the cherry and chocolate and I believe pepper.
That's right.
Blondies.
Yeah, absolutely.
OK, we'll try them later.
Good man.
I like the idea of it, though.
Cool.
I'm going to utilise it into my trifle. That will be the base of my trifle.
Lovely.
The first job I'm going to do is actually get my pan on and get my cherries. Now, these are the black cherries in the syrup, which I'm going to put in the pan now. I'm just going to reduce this down a little. Straight in. Now, what would you put with that?
To bring out the fruitiness, cloves. If you infuse cloves into the syrup, I think that might add something to it.
If I give you a little pestle and mortar...
Very good.
Take what you want and grind it down. If you haven't got any fresh cloves, you don't have to put it in. It's just we're trying to experiment and see what it's like. I trust this man. Now, in a pan, I've got some milk and cream here, which are going to go straight in.
Ooh.
Bring this up to the boil. Now, have you ground up that clove for me?
Yeah, what I've done is just crushed them so they can infuse rather than going, because are we going to strain it?
No.
Right, I'll keep going.
Crush it down. Can't get the staff nowadays. OK, egg yolks in there. Caster sugar straight in. I'm going to add some flour to it, and this will be the thickener in the custard.
This is known as crème pâtissière, or crème pâte as I like to call it, which is thick, flour-based egg custard.
And when the cream and the milk have come to the boil, you then drop it straight onto this mixture, and then we're going to put it straight back on the pan again and cook out the flour. Have you managed to do that, Clove?
I have finally, Paul. Sorry, here we go.
Let's have a look.
Thank you. Is that OK?
Oh, beautifully done,
Lovely.
yes. I'm going to pop this clove in with the cherries.
Lovely.
That should infuse quite nicely. I'll just give it a little bit of a stir. It does smell good, I'll give you
Doesn't
that.
it? There you go,
it does. OK. Now, over here, the milk's just boiled. I'm going to add that to the mixture. Give this a stir. This is a classic sort of crème pâte, you know. It's a classic sort of custard. Just mix that in. Make sure it's all dissolved.
A good technique, sir.
Now, nutmeg.
Indeed, sir.
How much?
I would say maybe just like 6 or 7 rubs.
Now, I've got some chocolate here I'm going to break up. Now, this is going to turn our traditional crème pâtissière into a chocolate one.
Break the chocolate into pieces and tip into the crème pâtissière and very gently stir until it's all blended in. Then pop it back onto a low heat and keep stirring.
Don't walk away from it at this stage because the flour will begin to cook out pretty much straight away. So keep turning it. And once you see it beginning to hold on the spoon, take it off the heat and put it into a bowl to chill down. And it almost sets like a jelly. You wobble it and it will begin to settle very, very quickly. That's when it's ready. Once it's chilled, the best way to do it is put what they call a cartouche, which is basically a circle of silicone paper on the top of that, and then pop it in the fridge. It just stops it from skinning. Now, once you've done that, you end up with this.
Once the mixture cooled, I added double cream to create a deliciously thick chocolate custard.
Yeah, that's very good. And that's got your nutmeg in it as well.
Beautiful.
And it does bring out that chocolate.
It does, doesn't it? Absolutely, yeah.
It's a great blend.
Yeah.
Next, drain the clove-infused morello cherries.
You can smell that clove.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
I'll leave them over there to cool.
I'm breaking up Aaron's peppered blondies a little. These sweet dessert bars will make a delicious alternative to sponge.
There's white and black pepper in there. Again, now you've tasted the black pepper and the white pepper, you can see possibly why I've used both of them to try and create a balance.
It's quite sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
One's sweet.
Absolutely.
OK. Lovely.
I love trifles, it's brilliant. Exactly.
I love trifle with a passion. Probably one more will do.
Perfect.
Then soak the blondies with kirsch. This fruity brandy made with morello cherries will add some heat and a kick to your trifle.
Put a layer of cherries on there. Now here I've got some cherry jam, again real cherry overload here. Spread that over the top. Next thing I'm going to do is add the chocolate. Now, this chocolate mixture
Looks gorgeous.
gets poured on.
So you added cream to that as well?
Add a little bit of cream to it because what happens is when it goes in the fridge, it can solidify.
Oh, yeah.
Creme pat tends to do that anyway, but the addition of cream takes it to the right consistency that you're looking for in a custard. So again, just spread it around nice and evenly across the top. Bring out my mascarpone cream, mascarpone cheese, to which I'm going to add some cream to that. Now I'm deconstructing a classic 70s Black Forest Gateau. Black Forest Gateau is protected in Germany. There's certain things you can do with it.
Gosh.
They'd probably go crazy if they realised I was putting it in a trifle.
Whisk together the mascarpone and double cream until light and fluffy and not too stiff.
Now, the cream goes on top of the chocolate. This is where you begin to salivate.
I'm doing that already.
Now, that is pretty much finished, but
Looking good.
I've got some chocolate. It needs more chocolate.
And do you know what I would do with that pour as well?
What's that?
I would also probably grate on some pepper to keep the theme going.
Pepper.
Yeah.
I love you, Aaron. I really do.
But shut up.
Don't push it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put a little bit on, OK? Sweet.
Yes. The tiniest bit, I'd say.
And a little bit of white pepper on the top. That's enough. And there you have it. That is a Black Forest Gateau trifle infused with some beautiful spices.
If this hasn't made your mouth water, I don't know what will. Dreamy chocolate custard, clove-infused morello cherries, and blondies soaked in kirsch. A classic with a twist.
Thank you, Aaron, for your help. And
Brilliant.
thank you very much for teaching me a little bit
Thank
more
you.
about spice. But we're going to have to wait a little bit longer before we get a chance to try it.